Hello, one and all. I am Suzanne. My channel is Making It in Maine. It's all about making it. And there are so many different interpretations for making it. I am going to talk today about something I used to make more than I make now. Perhaps at some point I will return to it, but it has not called to me in recent years, for many years really. I'm having a cup of yogi licorice and mint tea. So I'm going to take a sip. Hold on a moment. It's still quite hot. You may be able to see the steam rising. Let's see what the tea bag says today. There's so many good things on them sometimes. So this one says, we all want to be understood. Isn't that true? To be acknowledged, to be loved. That is so true. And I think in one of my previous videos, I spoke to something very similar. Yeah, we all want to be loved. We all want to be heard. I think we all want to be respected, heard, loved, respected. Yeah. So one person at a time, let's spread those feelings. Let's be accepting. Let's be loving. Let's be forgiving. Let's listen to people, and listen to people who in the past maybe you would have brushed aside. Yeah. Compassion. We all need compassion. All right. Shall we carry on with making it in Maine? So I'm going to show you today something that I used to do, a craft that I used to do. I think I already said that. Don't do much anymore. May return to it, may not. But back in the mid-'80s, my neighbor and friend turned me on to cross-stitching. She used to do it, and I think I saw something that she was working on, a project she was working on. In fact, I think I can show you. Yes, it's right here. She was working on an ABC cross-stitch piece. This is a very old book. And I saw it and liked it, but at the time I didn't have anybody I wanted to do one of those for. I guess, I don't know. I did have a child, but maybe I started it before my daughter was born. I can't remember. But anyway, so there were different cross-stitch stores around at the time. Not so much anymore, but so I went to the shop and picked out some patterns, and this is the pattern that I chose to do at the time. Yeah, a sampler. So I did this in 1985. Just a ABC number sheep sampler, because if you've watched other videos, you may know that I have had a thing for sheep over the years. Oh, I could probably go around the house and show you several different sheep things, but yeah, I don't think I'll bore you with that. Might be a little too boring. So over the years, I did various cross-stitch projects, and I was actually looking in this sort of vintage purse. My brother gave this to me eons ago. I think it's pretty ugly now, but I think it is vintage. Anyway, it's what I keep cross-stitch projects in, and I was just looking in it, trying to find, and I hope I've put them somewhere else, these lovely flowers. I used to make bookmarks. I made a beautiful Lily of the Valley bookmark. I made a beautiful lady slipper bookmark. And so I was a little distressed when I looked in there and didn't find them in there. I had some other things in there that I really liked too, some fruits, and they've got to be somewhere else, but I just don't know where I would have put them. So I'll show you, I like that sheep sampler, but I will show you my very favorite, most beloved thing. It's a Christmas stocking that I made for my daughter. And I keep it here so I can fill it with Christmas things when she's here. So anyway, here it is. I'm not going to show you the top part because that's where her name is, and I am respecting her privacy. So here it is, a shepherdess. Isn't she beautiful? I just adore this Christmas stocking. Hope you can see it. I will show you the what's above her name. Some trees, evergreen trees, and a moon. So that is my daughter's beautiful Christmas stocking, and it also has something very lovely written on the back, and I shall read it to you. If there is righteousness in the heart, there will be beauty in the character. If there is beauty in the character, there will be harmony in the home. If there is harmony in the home, there will be order in the nation. And if there is order in the nation, there will be peace in the world. And that is right up my Buddhist alley, because peace has to start with us, and it radiates out. If we don't find peace within ourselves and get out all of the demons and the ugly bits of ourself, and stop allowing our lesser selves to rear their ugly heads, then how can we expect there to be peace around us? So if we can create peace in ourselves, it ripples out, it radiates out. They'll begin to be, because when we change, the things and people around us change. So it's all about working on ourselves. And you'll be surprised, the things and people around you will change. So we change. We start to notice family and friends around us change. Things in our work environment change. And it just ripples out to your friends, your community, your state, and so on and so forth, and to the nation, peace in the world. That's how it has to be. One person at a time, making a change from within. So I just think that is such a beautiful poem. So that is my very favorite cross-stitched piece. This is a little piece years ago. I was into geese. I think geese before sheep, not into geese anymore. But this is something I cross-stitched and gave to my mom that hung at her house until she passed away. And then I brought it to my house. But yeah, I used to make beautiful, beautiful little bookmarks. I made, and that isn't even here, I made a little cow jumping over the moon nursery rhyme thing for my cousin who had a baby. I made something as a wedding gift for someone years ago. Yeah, I haven't given away too many cross-stitch gifts. Looking at photos of things I have made, I found this cross-stitch sachet that I made for my crafty mentor friend. It's a little primitive piece. And after cross-stitching, that's when I was doing knitting too at the time. Yes, and then after that, the next craft I was introduced to was rug hooking. And that's when I made my first rug that I told you I didn't like and ended up throwing it away after my cat vomited on it. Sorry. So anyway, so not a lot of cross stitching. This is a piece that is, oh, I'd made a doll too. It was a cross stitch doll. And I had that for some time, and it got some water stain on it or something, and I ended up throwing that away. Looking through my photos, I found the cross-stitch doll that I made. It was kind of cute, but yeah, nothing that I was terribly sad to let go of. But this is an Amish sampler. Oh, let's see. Here's the magazine that it came from. This is from March and April of 1987. So this is the Amish quilts and Amish lady. Yeah, cross-stitch piece that I started, and I didn't finish it. And you want to know why? I'll tell you why. Because I didn't like the color of the quilts. Didn't like the color of the quilts. And I could have finished the house. I could have finished other bits of it, but I didn't like the color of the quilts. I mean, I did kind of change one of them, and I altered the color actually of the one closest to her because they had some orangey red color in it, and I just didn't care for the colors. So I don't want to make a cross-stitch quilt if I don't like the colors of it. So there's that one, and I just didn't know what color I wanted to do in there. I guess I just need to pull some of my embroidery floss out and hold bits up until something speaks to me. That might be a wise idea, eh? So ought to do it, ought to get it finished, but for now it hangs on my design wall behind me, and I will hang that up later. So yes, I put my floss in these baggies, and they get numbered, and when I ran out of these bags, I would put 3 or 4 different colors in one bag. And then I found some more of these bags, so I was able to empty some out and not cram them with 3 or 4 or 5 different colors in one. Some people, where is my bag? Some people take the floss, some people unwind the floss and wrap it around plastic thingies. If you're a cross stitcher, do you do that? How do you hold on to and keep track of your, oh, here's my bag. How do you hold on to and keep track of your floss? These things. Those things. I just thought, I bought them, but then I didn't use them. I just thought, I cannot be bothered to rewrap my floss and put a number on this, and just couldn't be bothered. So anyway, that's where they sit, in these. Yep, that works for me. What do you do if you're a cross stitcher? Oh no, that's not cross stitch. So yeah, that's it for cross stitching. I think I will pick up the cross stitching and show you one more thing. We're getting down to only two handcrafts that I do that I have not shown you yet. So let me pick up the cross stitch stuff and then I will come right back. I'm back. So the next thing I will show you today is miniature needle punch. And I pulled 3 plus 1 teeny tiny thing to show you. One other thing I made, I gave to a friend. I mounted the little needle punch piece. I glued it to a fabric covered box that I did, and put the cross stitch piece on that. It it all looked lovely in her dining room. She used to live in Dresden, and yeah, it looked lovely there. And so anyway, I think she still has that. And here it is in her dining room. And it was kind of similar to this. So here's one piece I did. And this is not framed. This is just tucked in the cover of a a sort of cardboardy box that a mug came in, I think. But so that's what I have it tucked in. I hope I haven't already shown you these things, but anyway, so I just have this folded up and tucked inside here. It's working for me right now. I have it standing on the top of my cookbook shelf, but that's the back side of it. When you do miniature needle punch, you work from the back side. And yeah, so front side shows more texture, bumps out from the fabric, and this is the back side is flush, pretty much flush with the fabric, and that's the side that you're working from. So you don't see the finished side unless you flip it over. So that is that. Fold it back up and put it back in the little mug box cover. Yeah, just sits on my cookbook shelf. Here is another little piece that I did, miniature needle punch, little snowman and tree and snowflakes. I also, I did a Santa moon. The hooked mat, the round hooked mat that I did of a Santa moon, I put that, I punched a miniature one of those and put it under glass and made a coaster. No, a paperweight. Made a paperweight for a friend of mine. That turned out neat, and I have some more of those that I could make a few more with. So there's that. I think it's pretty cute. What do you think? What is on my snowman? In the picture, it looks like, I guess that's the camera. It looks like he had something on his face, but it's his two eyes. His two coal eyes. Did I show that up close enough? And I think I showed you this, perhaps, because this also has some wool applique. This is my favorite, I think, my favorite hooked piece, the sweet, sweet cat. And the little wool applique flowers on either side. And it's got kind of a linen border, not kind of, it is a linen fabric border around the cloth that the punching took place on. So there is that. I found these 3 little miniature needle punch pieces to show you. And this is something that has been unfinished for a very long time, and it's been in here. Let me show you. Let me just stick it back in. You're going to see some goofy fabric, but it's just been sitting in this frame, and because it had, let me just take it out of the frame, because it had the blue around it, it was not lining up nicely in the frame. So I was disturbed by that. So I pulled out a bunch of the black below, above, and on the side. And now I am going to rip out the rest of the blue and just go in there with black. And it may be a disaster. It may not. It also had a couple of little, I don't know if you can see, because on the back side you might be able to see. It had, see the little flower in the corner? I thought that was cute, but it doesn't show up in the frame. The frame chops it off. Pretty sure the frame chopped it off. So I will be leaving, well, I don't know. It does kind of fit, but I think I'm going to leave the flowers out. Let's simplify it just so I can finish it. So I'm going to pull out, let me bring you closer. See if you can see. Yes. I'm going to pull out the blue. Let's see how it goes. I have to turn it over and see what's happening after. Oop. Okay, we've got one piece out. Finding the tail of the blue on this might be a little tricky. Let's see. Oh, I got it. By George, I do believe I got it. Let's see. Let's see. I don't think the whole thing is coming with me there, so let's try at the top. Okay, I got a good bit there, I think. Ooh la la, that is caught on something. Well, you know what? Instead of torturing you while I do this, oh, there's another piece. Instead of torturing you, maybe I should do this off camera and come back. And oh, here we go. Here's another piece. Oh yes, very satisfying. Very satisfying. That's a good long piece that could be used again. But this piece is definitely hung up. And it's so tiny that I think I'm going to need to go get my readers. Oh, you see, I'm kind of a persistent woman. I don't give up. I don't give up easily. You know, sometimes I do, I guess, don't I? Because I stop projects because something happens and get stalled in my tracks. But I think for the most part with things, I'm very persistent. I don't like to be defeated by things. I don't like to give up usually. All right. I think this side is just too difficult, so she got it. Let's see what the other side, Not making too horrible a mess on that side. Maybe I can get the rest of the blue from the front. Oh yes, she got it. She meaning me. There. I think I got all of the blue that was bordering. Okay. I did it. Now, let me get away so you don't see how bad the wrinkles and such are. Yes, it's me, Goofball Suzanne. So I'm going to stop the camera and, oh, well, before I do that, so there are different hoops you can use for needle punching. These hoops, I've used them before, but I do like this springy action situation as opposed to this dial. This would be my least favorite kind of hoop at all because it's pretty cheesy and I don't know, I just don't like the screw situation on it. Yep, not a fan of those. I don't know what brand that is, but it's not a fan. So I've had a couple like this. I do like the spring action there and how the hoop, I do like how it goes into, this fits inside of the ring. I do like that aspect of it, but I don't feel like it holds everything as tightly as I would like, and thread often gets caught on these. So not a big fan of those hoops. This kind of hoop I like very much. I think these are called, I think this is a Morgan hoop. These are very strong. They have a nice, oh, what do you call those? Wing nut? Wing nut. And they fit into a this has a channel and it fits in here. So the channel, this goes in the channel and it makes a very nice tight fit so your work doesn't come out. So I am going to put this in here and I will be back to show you what I'm going to do next. I put the project in my hoop. It's nice and tight. You want it kind of drum tight. And in case you're wondering, I sewed some muslin to, this gets done on weaver's cloth. It's a very fine weave to the fabric. And I only had a piece a wee bit bigger than the glass, so too small to fit in this small hoop. So I stitched some muslin scraps to it so that I could get a good tight fit. And now I just need to thread my ultra needle punch tool. There's the end of it. Oops, there's the end of it. And I have it set on a 2. The number corresponds with the height of the loop. And this is the threader. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I put it against the white. See, it's just a very thin piece of wire. And that is what you thread the needle with. So you stick the thin wire up through, okay, let me see, I'm doing this wrong. You go down through, it's been a while since I've done any punching. So you go down through the tip of the needle, and something's bunging it up. There we go. And you want to come out the other end. Can you see that? And I will get a piece of black floss, and I want a good size length so I don't have to keep rethreading my needle. And oh yes, 3 strands. So I need to separate this into 3 strands. And that is always a little bit tricky. Sometimes it's nice to have 2 people, but you can use your thread to pull it apart. Oh my goodness, you use your fingers to separate, not the thread. And then go a little bit closer, and got a little bit left to do. That's how I separate my threads. If you use 6 strand floss, let me know your method. Maybe you have a better trick or a better way of doing it. All right, so now I'm going to thread my, put my floss through the hole, the opening of the wire. And I want to pull enough through so it doesn't come out in transit. So here's my tail. And now I'm going to pull it through till it comes out the other side, just like that. And then I can release it from my needle threader. And then I need to use the needle threader again to pull it through the eye of the needle. And there we go. So that goes through the eye of the needle, and then once again you put your floss through the opening in the needle threader and pull it through. And then release it. And now I do not need that much to start, so about like that. That should be good. My gray hair acts as a good backdrop for showing you, doesn't it? Gray hairs are good for something. Okay, so when you punch, you need to be super careful that this does not get caught on something. Let's see if I can successfully do it without getting caught on something. I have a bit of a mess on the floor below here. I have floss that I've pulled out of a few different things. There's the other piece of black that I just used. So I'm going to try to show you this. Let me see if I can set up the camera. Let me see if I can set up the camera so that you're able to watch me do a little punching. So I'll get it situated and then turn the camera back on. So when you miniature needle punch, you have the open channel. You go in the direction of the open channel, and which would be sort of away from the tail, the opposite direction of the tail. So I'm not going toward the tail, I'm going away from the tail. And I'm going to try to go along this line where I pulled out some blue. But there's a little bit of black that's kind of humped up in some of those spots. So we shall see how it goes. But so you punch down in, and when you bring your needle up, you only bring it until you reach the surface of the weaver's cloth. If you pull it too far, get that tail out of the way. If you pull it too far, oops, you could potentially pull your loop out. Yeah, it's been quite a while since I did any of this, so after I do this line, we will turn it over. I will turn it over. Yeah, I feel like I'm running into some loops on the other side. That's what happens when you are trying to punch in between loops you've already done. Sometimes you can push loops out that you don't intend to. So I bring it up and I scoot just like a thread or two forward, aka toward me. Yeah, see, that spot right there is going to be tricky. Let's see if I can. Ooh, yeah, see, I might be pulling my needle up too high, but just gonna keep going and see what happens. If I have to pull out more black, so be it. I can do that. I can do that. Yeah, it doesn't seem like I'm very chatty today. I feel like I'm not saying as many goofy things as I normally do, not yammering on about lots of different things. Not quite sure what that's all about, but had a lovely Buddhist discussion meeting this morning. All right, let's flip it over and see how it looks. Yeah, I feel like I pushed feel like I pushed some loops out. But you know what? It's going to be behind glass. And I kind of feel like it's better to just finish it since it's such a tiny little thing. Just get her done. Get her done. All right, so I came down there. And now I can go along. Actually, I think I'd like to go perhaps up that side and finish that side. But I might not need to. It might not be necessary to for the frame. And I feel like this weaver's cloth could be tighter in my hoop, though I thought I was getting it as tight as I could, and perhaps it's because of the muslin that I sewed to it. Maybe that's why it's not feeling as stiff and drum tight. I don't know, but I'm going to keep going. And now let's get up around this star. You know what? I don't think I'm gonna go on a crazy angle. I think I'm just gonna go, I wonder if you can see. I'm gonna go and, oops, I ran out of floss. Okay, well, there you have it. So when you run out, you end up with your tail on the top, and that will just get cut. That'll just get cut when I finish. But the loop, that loop is a little high, so I'm going to see if I can pull it back some. And I was able to. All right, so I have to thread my Ultra Punch again and continue. And I don't imagine you want to watch the entire thing, so I will keep going. But I may have to return another day because it's nearing dinner time. While I was downstairs looking for something for this video, I pulled these out of my temporary sewing room. This is a teeny tiny, did I show you this already? I don't think I did. Teeny tiny little quilt. It's the size of a coaster, something you'd put a cup of tea or coffee on. Let me show you one of the sweet little prints that I love in this. Maybe it's not in here. I thought it was like a little joker. Well, I see a wee birdie. See a wee little bird right above my finger there. Could have sworn there was a little joker person. Well, there's, I think that's some sort of person right there. Some little keys. Remember conversational prints that I talked to you about one day? Those are all conversational prints that I'm pointing out just now. Anyway, I love this little piece. You know, some people don't keep fabric scraps smaller than 2 inches or 2.5 inches. Well, you can see that you can use teeny tinies. That's, I'm guessing that was 1 inch square. Maybe even a 1/2 inch square, because that looks like about 1/4 inch. I may have to measure. And here's another small quilt. I don't know if I showed you this. I love this. This was a class I took, a miniature quilt class. These are friendship stars. I made one with my crafting mentor years ago. Love that fabric so much. Yep. So anyway, that hangs in my den, aka my temporary sewing room. And this I thought I would show you also. This is more wool applique. This is a little pin. I used to wear this when I taught. I used to wear it on my clothes, my jumpers, and whatever I was wearing that I thought it went with. I made some of these and sold some of these. Yeah, I think that's super cute. Haven't worn it for years. Maybe when I get older, I'll wear it again. It's funny. Funny what I wore when I was younger that seemed so matronly. And now I feel like I, for the most part, dress younger. And to me, this seems like it's just not something I feel like I'd wear right now, but you never know. Ask me tomorrow. So friends, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed seeing my miniature needle punch and some of my counted cross stitch. Yeah, cross stitch the pattern can be all printed on the cloth, or it can be what I do or used to do, which was counted cross stitch. You find the center of your fabric and you work from there. You count the number of holes away you need to be to start. And anyway, yeah. So I hope you enjoyed my counted cross stitch show and tell and a little bit of my miniature needle punch show and tell. And when I finish this, it's probably not going to be tonight because I work tomorrow. I've got to go make dinner. I should do some more laundry. I would like to chant this evening. So it's probably not gonna be finished today, but I'm pleased that I've got it in the frame. I'm able to punch. I ripped out the blue so I can continue and finish it. Woohoo! Finish it. Oh, look, as I was setting it down, here's one more miniature needle punch pin. This one's a pin that I made. I may have used, maybe I wore this years ago on my wool dress coat, not sure. I may have sold one or two of those at a little craft fair we had at my school. Some of these sold at my little craft fair. So there's two little pins. So that's it for today. I would love it, love it, love it if you would subscribe to my channel. You have to log in to subscribe. You have to log in to comment, but you don't have to stay logged in. But subscribing to my channel will help it to grow, will help it to be seen, and hopefully will get me on my journey to just being a full-time maker. And I can have lots more tutorials and sewing things. You might like to sew along with me. Oh gosh, that's my dream. That's my dream to earn money doing what I'm passionate about. And I'm passionate about handcrafts, passionate about health, healthy cooking. Yeah. So would mean a lot if you would subscribe. It'd also be great if you give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you like this channel and what I'm showing you and talking about. Share it if you know somebody who might enjoy it too. So until the next time, from my heart to yours, I hope to see you soon. Bye. Bye for now, friends.